to start the day. Just kidding, guys. I had to check on the dryer. Nap time. You ready, Didge? All right. First order of business this morning is we had to unhook the W900 or the white truck there from the trailer. Everybody said it was acting funny yesterday. I didn't get a chance to drive it, but Dad said something is definitely up with it. So we called the truck shop. He's gonna run it into Glenwood. They're gonna take a look at it right away this morning. Jim's gonna bring him back. Meanwhile, I'm gonna empty what's left in the grain cart, put that into the system, into the wet tank, and get the combine ready to go so that when those guys get back, we can get at it again. Good morning, Challenger. This thing has some of the weakest cold starts ever, but that's all right. It's nice and quiet.
Cases famous for the extension tools and egg expertise.
Time to fire up the big boy. Everything is golden and ready to go and fueled up. Let's harvest. All right, we are out here. We are back at it. Just got one round in here and some end rows off. Gonna jump out, make sure everything looks good. I ended up tightening up some of the stuff in the back of the machine just to try to get some of the cob out of the tank. What we're ending up with is a fair amount of this in the tank. And if I get that out of there, I'm having trouble throwing a little bit of corn over. So I've adjusted some things in the back. I'm just gonna look and make sure that we're not leaving many kernels behind here. Through the center, I'll check. Then I'll check out here on the ends too to see if we're throwing anything over the chopper. Everything looks good. Time to rock and roll.
Okay, yeah, so just too wet to go through that ditch there.
3/4, up 1 1/4. December oats, $3, up 12. December meal, $3.2650, up 9.60. And December oil, $29.62, up 23.
Well, we moved south a little bit from yesterday. We're a little bit closer to home, and the good news is the fields are a little bit drier. They're a lot firmer. I don't know if it dried that much overnight or if we just had that much less rain than what we had up north there where we were yesterday. But on top of that, the corn is a lot healthier looking. I don't know, again, if it's a variety thing or if it's the geography, if this is just better soil, it had better luck or what, but this is different varieties that we're combining here, and the plants look healthier. They're not breaking down from the wind at all, so I'm a lot more confident or feeling better that this stuff, if we have to leave it stand for a little bit, it's not going to be a big problem, which we're actually going to do with half of it. This field is actually split planted. I'm going to show you here. We've got two different varieties. On the field view monitor here, you can see our two different varieties. We've got a hefty variety and a channel variety. One of them is a lot drier than the other, so we're going to actually take every 24 rows and leave every 24 rows stand. It seems weird. It's a little bit goofy. It's going to look funny. People might wonder why we're doing it, but I think the farmers will understand that the two different varieties are just that much different in moisture. The channel stuff is actually about 5 points wetter. No big deal. It's like that because it's a late maturity. We knew it was going to be wetter, but it's too wet right now yet that we don't really want to take it. So we're going to just take what we can here and take this hefty variety out for now. And then I hope we're going to be jumping onto soybeans tomorrow, because it sounds like with this sun and the little bit of breeze we have, they should dry out, and then we're going to go full bore on soybeans hopefully starting tomorrow afternoon. I don't know what the problem is, but we got one here saying that the cleaning fan is not running right. I don't know. That's going to be the issue. This is supposed to be attached. It runs the cleaning fan, and it must run something That's what we need. Here, I got a number for you. 817-5587. We are just north of the highway, just north of our place, across from the church. Okay. Thanks, Daryl. Bye. Well, no doubt about it. This is our problem right here. This is obviously not supposed to be like this. So I called Midwest Machinery in Glenwood. They're gonna run a new one out to us here. I'm just gonna get empty and we'll pull to the south end of the field, take all the shields off on that side and get in there so that we can get to it, see where we gotta snake it around and exactly how we gotta do it. I'm sure they'll send a mechanic out who's done it 100 times, so if we need some help with that, we can probably get it on as quick as possible and get back up and going. On a positive note, it gives me time to eat the sandwich that Isla and Becky brought me. Little trick I've learned over the years when it comes to working on a combine, always park the side you gotta work on upwind, because that dust gets really itchy after a while. How's it going? Oh, you're getting better than us. We gotta take that off to get to it, you know? I was afraid to start yanking stuff apart because half the time I do that I end up just putting it back together.
Yep, and these ones gotta come off.
Those ones too, huh?
Yep. Yeah, just wiggle them longer, you can see if they turn a little bit.
They both jiggle a little. If we can get them to turn a little, it must have just been smoking the belt on the pulley that runs those.
No, it wasn't smoking it because I was watching it turn.
Description of what just happened there. We broke an auger that runs a few different things on the side of the machine, and basically what it did was plug up underneath me where it was bringing all the corn in, where it starts to separate the corn from the plants. And so once that belt broke, all that corn getting shoved in there had nowhere to go, so it was just plugging it, plugging it, plugging it. And we switched the belt, couldn't get the augers to turn, so we had to pull the sides off and clean out inside of there and just shove it all back manually by hand in order to free up the augers enough that they would turn. Once they got turned and we were able to speed the fan speed up, everything started moving again. And so we should be good to go. It looks like everything is good. As long as that didn't break for any specific reason, we should be all right here. But sometimes belts just break. That's the way they are after they get old. Sometimes they get a crack in them or get weathered or get used up or whatever. But hopefully we're good to go here. Well, it looks goofy leaving all these stripes up and down the field, that's for sure. We do a lot of split planting with different varieties, and usually it doesn't burn us like this. Usually we get our maturities pretty close, but we just don't have a lot of experience with the hefty varieties that we have out here. They're just proving to be a little bit more earlier maturity than what we expected, which is okay, that's fine. It's actually working out in our favor because We have a few more acres to pick out. We just need to separate it from the wetter stuff. So it's not the most efficient. We just feel like this is probably our best option right now. We can't be going on soybeans yet, so we're going to continue to take what we can on the corn while we can. A lot of sunny days coming. Hopefully we'll knock enough out to keep the grain dryer going all night tonight on corn, and then in the morning we can switch over to soybeans. Whee! Well, that field is done. I think we're going to be done on corn now. Dad's got the other machine. I just passed it back here. I didn't get the camera on soon enough, but he's got the 9650 ready. He's taken a few soybeans out. I think I'm going to drop the header on this machine and leave this corn header somewhere in the yard and probably hook up to the bean header. We're going to get everything ready to go. I don't know if we'll take any tonight. We might fill the trucks, but we got enough corn to keep that grain dryer going all night long, so that was our main objective. And then tomorrow we're going to hit it on beans. There he goes. She goes. She doesn't like the tractors either. Well, it looks like machine number 2, the 9650, is up and going. But Dad said these beans got a lot of beans in them that are swollen up and weren't entirely ripe before it froze, and we haven't had any drying days since the last time it froze. The ground is definitely a little bit damp, but not bad. It's wet underneath. It needs more time for sure, but 80% of these beans or 90% of the beans on the stalks are dry enough. They crack, they shell out. This one doesn't. So here's the issue we're looking at. These beans here are probably 25%. They should be round and dry and hard. They don't shell out nice, where most of these beans shell out a lot nicer, especially these top ones break right open and shell out like that. These are still 16-17%, but we need to wait for this to get more uniform first. The thing is, we just haven't had a drying day since this stuff froze, and not all the soybeans out here were mature, so it's inconsistency right here. But I know we do have other fields where it's a lot more consistent because this was our last planted field. So I think this is mainly an issue in this field. It's probably going to be an issue in some other fields, but not many other ones. So I think we're going to be good to go. We're going to switch stuff over tonight and hopefully be ready to go. You can see the neighbors are going on corn over there. We have decided that we are going to take this thing out to the field. By this thing, I mean the combine. We're going to get it out to the field tonight. We're going to try and take off a truckload of beans with that other machine tonight so that we know that other machine is working right, since we haven't taken anything other than this 1 or 2 acres here out yet this year. So we're going to get it down there, get a truckload of beans out, make sure everything's going good, and then we're going to be able to kick it in the butt in the morning. Soybeans, guys. We're gonna just load this truck on the road here because we don't have a lot of room in the field yet, and it's still a little bit wet out there. The problem we've run into out here is that the beans are kind of the same as they were at home. They're just not ripe. The plan is to move up the road a mile from here tomorrow morning. Once the beans are dry and ready, we're gonna move up there and see what those ones are like. If we have to, we are gonna run them through the grain dryer, just put a little heat on them real quick and take them down from 17 or 18% down to the 13% we want in the bin. It's a struggle, just another struggle. It's a really weird year. Unfortunately, we're almost to the point where we just don't have any crops that are really ripe and ready to go. But the attitude in this area is that if you can get your crops at all, you get them. You just go for it and you get them before the weather turns on you. Last night there was a 0% chance of any precipitation, and we got snow overnight again. So we have unpredictable weather that goes on in this area of the country. We do have a good forecast. That's the nice part. If we have to wait, we probably will wait a couple of days and see if we can get anything during that time, but we just hate to do it. That's all for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Stick with me.